It's very smart. That would unit the referee. Welcome to another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave Duenas. I just got done watching the pay-per-view Lightning Lightweights. I believe that's what it's called, man. I can't remember. Anyways, great cards, man. If you guys didn't pay for it, you missed out. They had some great bouts. You know, Julio Diaz tried to make a comeback, you know, and got in the ring and against Rolando Reyes. But really, you know, the problem with Diaz is that, you know, he throws a great value of punches, good boxer and stuff, but doesn't have the punch to keep you at bay. So Rolando Reyes really was able to just catch him, drop him, hurt him, and when he did hurt him, you know, Diaz didn't know how to tie him up. He let the machismo kick in, and it just let him take him out. So it was the end of his attempt to try to make a comeback, to try to get back in the elite at the lightweight division. So that was their thing. Now, Vicente Escobedo comes in and he decides to fight Carlos Hernandez, drops him, I think, 3 times. And same thing, you know, it went all the way down to decision, but he really just kind of outclassed him. Same thing, the Salvadorian was able to drop Vicente, but it was really a slip. That's what I saw too, like the commentators, which was Dougie Fisher and Bernardo Hopkins, which I thought did a really good job doing that thing and stuff. So Vicente does this thing. Good coming out party for Vicente to see what else he can do, even though, you know, it was a tough fight for him because the Salvadorian Carlos Hernandez is a veteran fighter and stuff like that. So you were hoping for Vicente to kind of knock him out and push him out of the contingency so that he can move on, and then we can say, okay, what is more expected from him? So, you know, there's going to be still little questions from the hardcore fans and stuff about where does Vicente stand at the moment. Then Jesus Chavez comes in with Michael Casitas. Now, this is my problem with Jesus Chavez, is that even though he was landing some good shots with Michael Casitas, he had no foundation underneath them, okay? His uppercut was landing, but if you watch the fight, when he would land his uppercut, his feet were square with his shoulders. So every time he would land, really, there was no power. So he would fall forward. And when you see somebody fall forward, it's because they have no balance. So that means if they have no balance, there's no power behind it. So regardless if he was landing against Michael Casitas, he was doing no damage. But he was landing some overhand rights, but still the same thing. He was falling forward. After he would land, he would still fall forward because he was squared up. But Michael Casitas, you know what? If you don't like him or not, the Australian kid, I like the guy. For some reason, you know, it's really hard not to root against the guy. Even though Jesus Chavez has got a great story and you were hoping that he was going to do something special, you couldn't want to see Michael Casitas, you know, proceed and do something, you know, great. So Michael Casitas follows through, even though, in my opinion, he was losing, and Jesus Chavez, man, got a cut over his eye, and really, he just felt, you know what, he's an older warrior, he was taking some beatings and stuff, and he just kind of gave shut down and stuff like that, which you can't hate on. He gave a great performance, but yeah, if he would have kept going, probably would have got the decision over there in Houston. But it happens. That's the way it's going to be. Now we move on to Edwin Valario against Pitalua. Pitalua, man, goes in there. This is a tough veteran, first off, okay? So, you know, I wanted to make a video about this whole event and stuff, but I didn't have a chance. I've been really busy. But, you know, I really thought that Pitalua was going to give him a much bigger test. But Edwin, man, just goes in there and he does this thing, you know. The guy's strong. He's not the fastest goddamn lightweight in the world right now, but he is strong. Do I want to see him move up and fight somebody a little bit more dangerous right now than Pitalua? Of course. I think anybody wants to know. The urban legend is out there, okay? We really want to know if the boogeyman exists. So if you want to see the boogeyman exist, you put him in with some of the top guys. Juan Manuel Marquez. You know what? Edwin's been calling out Manny Pacquiao for some time. The man that's been giving Manny Pacquiao nightmares, and even Freddie Roach, who Freddie's already said, we don't plan to fight him unless it makes sense. Well, it makes sense because the fact that Juan Manuel Marquez is the legitimate lightweight champion of the world. Now, Manny Pacquiao destroys Ricky Hatton, which is a tough task within himself. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I know some people have made videos saying that it's an easy fight for Manny Pacquiao. Bro, I know for a fact you guys don't believe that, okay? Ricky Hatton is the truth, okay? So, if Manny Pacquiao gets past this, and I know a lot of people email Dave, what is your opinion? When are you going to do Kids of Victory? I'm going to do it. It's going to be this week. It's going to happen. I'm going to send it out. If Juan Manuel Marquez fights, and this is the thing too, Edwin Veladio was co-promoted by Golden Boy. Golden Boy has got their eye on him. I know somebody one time told me on the last radio show they said laugh. They put a laugh and all that. He's not promoted by Golden Boy. Then when the fuck is he to be in the main event on Golden Boy? Think about it. There's a reason behind everything. Okay? Money makes money, and that makes sense. You don't put your money on somebody if you're not going to try to make money on the guy. So Edwin Veladio obviously looked at right now to be put in with either maybe a comeback fight for Juan the Baby Bull Diaz. Rocky Juarez right now has been announced that he's going to be fighting Chris John. You know, Victor Ortiz has been talking about somebody else. He's going to be the main event in LA. But Juan the Baby Bull Diaz might want to come back. It might be against Edwin Veladio. And if he gets past Edwin Veladio, then guess what? He gets Juan Manuel Marquez. That means that they're going to wait for who's the winner between that fight to get Manny Pacquiao, because that makes the biggest sense in dollar-wise. I'm your host, Dave Duenas. That was my whole anyways, Edwin Veladio knocks out homeboy. What can you say? I want to see the guy fight again. He's exciting. Not the fastest guy in the world, wherever you would say. You know, there was some commentators saying, oh, he's really fast. Even when he trains, he's fast. I didn't see the fastness on him. I really think he's going to have a lot of problems with Manny Pacquiao, but it still makes it an intriguing fight because of the fact is he's a power hitter. I wonder how well can any Juan Manuel Marquez, Juan Diaz, Manny Pacquiao, and etc., how do they respond to such a big puncher? I'm your host, Dave Duenas. This is another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show.